Okay, so this is day 2 of the Obsession Year vlog. I really gotta come up with my own creative name for it. I don't know. Maybe that's what I'll call it. I don't know. I don't want to take the Zach's thing. But on my way to get a haircut right now. Hair is a mess, as you can see. And I find that I feel better, look better, and it does increase my confidence to look sharp, haircut wise, style wise, etc. The style will have to come because I am lacking in that department, honestly. Like I literally don't have enough clothes that look good. I mostly wear jeans and black t-shirts, which, hey, keeps it simple, very minimalist. But I want to upgrade that at some point, and that'll be a milestone or something to shoot for. Yeah, I haven't really done a freestyle vlog in a while, though some of my friends have been requesting them, just because I haven't done a whole lot of interesting things as of late. You know, vlogs are especially good if you have like a really unique, interesting lifestyle. For me, going forward this year, it is going to be more interesting because I'm going to be pushing myself to do the things that I've said I wanted to do, and I'm going to bring you along for the ride in that regard. So stay tuned for that. One thing I want to do, I don't know if I'll be able to do it logistically, but is daily cold plunges. Now, if I came back to Jersey, I'd be able to put a cold plunge in the backyard, and it's actually cold outside, so it would really add to what I'm trying to do, make things fucking challenging for the sake of growth. But being back in California, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't have the space outside to put a cold plunge. I was thinking about potentially putting one in my closet. I have a big like walk-in closet in the apartment. That would be interesting. I don't know how realistic that is to do. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, about to get the haircut. I'm gonna just start and stop this as I go, and this is a learning process, so we'll see. All right. So haircut acquired, as you can see. I was gonna record in there, but I don't know. I haven't seen the guy in a while. This is Bros Barbershop in Clifton, New Jersey. My guy Nick, I've been going to him for a few years now. He would have been fine with me recording, but I said fuck it. Let's just talk. So I talked to him for a while, and obviously, as you can see, new haircut, new me, huh? 2024. So my haircuts in LA have not been great, admittedly so. And I was talking to him about that and why that might be, and I have to take responsibility for the kind of haircut, like what I'm asking for, but also be willing to leave a barbershop if I don't like the haircut. So my haircuts in LA, barbers in LA typically take longer. I've only been to 2 barbers, to be fair, but it's probably averaging like 45 to an hour per haircut, whereas Nick can cut it in like 25, and it's like a good haircut. Like, he does a straight razor, the eyebrows, everything's lined up, the fade in the beard, the fade on the top and sides, and then he told me what to tell them back there. So he's a good guy. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna put a picture in here so you can check out a selfie with Nick and go check it out. So while I was getting the haircut, I was thinking about what I'm gonna do, because I made this decision to go back to LA, right? But I've been thinking about it still, like what to do. And it's tricky, man. It's tricky because coming back would mean that I'm in a better spot financially, and right now that's I'd have to create my own adversity. And I feel like a friend of mine in the past told me that I have an addiction to suffering, and so I'm trying to compare and contrast to that, and third person perspective. And that was like, I don't know, 2 years ago he told me that. I have a tendency to pick the hard route. And I wonder if it's always necessary. I don't know if the hard route is always necessary. One thing I didn't mention was that, my buddy EJ was telling me in the text, he sent me this long text. And part of that was like, you can create your own adversity. You can do jujitsu. You can do these things to make things harder. You don't have to always choose the shitty fucking path, And so part of me is wondering if like the hesitation, because when I say I'm going back to LA, there's still like this fuck, and it's because I'm afraid to receive. And I feel like it'd look bad if I fucking flip-flop back on that video I made yesterday. This is just kind of what I'm thinking, right? And the conflict is normal, it's natural. Hopefully it's real hopefully it's real for you to receive, because for me, it's like, fuck, dude, being indecisive sucks. Yeah, it really fucking blows to make a choice and then be like, okay, this is the choice I'm making, right? So yeah, I'm tempted to talk to people about it some more. Like, what do you think? But the more voices get involved, doesn't necessarily give me better perspective on the situation, just another perspective, right? So I'm gonna head home now and then see what's on the docket for the rest of the day. I gotta go to the doctor. I gotta go I'm gonna be up with my cousin later, and then I might go for a run, because that's the thing I don't want to do, and that's another example of where I can create my own adversity. Okay, just going for a little walk here. This wasn't part of the initial plan, but it's all about being firm in the resolve and the intention, but flexible in the approach and being willing to pivot. So walking around right now outside, it's pretty cold out here. Definitely a nice treat from the warm weather of California. There is something to be said about the cold. It is an incredible teacher, and that's every time I'm in the cold, whether it's a cold shower, a cold plunge, or even out here, like, this sucks. And it really whittles you down to the essentials, right? Like, if you're in a cold plunge, it's really just about focusing on your breath and not freaking out. And so that's like a life lesson right there, to really treat the journey in some ways like a cold plunge, where you're focusing on the essentials, taking it slow, trying to control your breath and not freak the fuck out. So going for a little walk right now, about to make a phone call with my buddy who offered me that job we talked earlier, and I have tremendous amount of respect for him, because he gets it. And if you're watching, you know who you are. And I saw this clip from Layla Hermosi, shout out to Layla Hermosi, where, I was asking another buddy for advice, and I stumbled upon this on my feed, where she was talking about how she needed an environment that made her uncomfortable. And she's like, I'm moving to California because I don't want to be soft, and going there will force me to make the hard choices. And that's the truth. A lot of the times it's our environment often shapes us based on the person we want to become. So one question I'd ask you is, what kind of person do you want to become? And if you're younger, it really doesn't matter what age you are, but if you don't have too many responsibilities, like you don't have kids or a relationship or a mortgage, and you're able to go off and take risks, take them, man. Like, I'm 28 right now, right? And based on like my age, people could say, well, you should start trying to settle down. But in the grand scheme of things, the macro, I know I'm young. However, that's not an excuse to delay and procrastinate taking the risks. I was just in the doctor's office, me, my doc, and the 2 nurse assistants, the practitioners, were all sitting there in the patient room, whatever, the doctor's room, and they were asking me about this decision because I mentioned it. Like, are you going to stay here? And I was like, well, this is what's going through my mind. And my doctor said, now's the time to roll the dice and see what happens. You come from a good family. I'm grateful to come from a good family. He's like, whatever you do, you're going to be okay. So that's one thing I really appreciate about East Coast people specifically. Shout out to all my East Coasters. Is there is a hard knock determination rather, that hey, I'm gonna get through this. We're gonna make it through this. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's freaking freezing during most of the year, right? Like shoveling snow sucks. I've done it all my life. This last year was the only time I've never experienced snow. So other than that, I mean, it's been snow shoveling for myself, my family, as well as other people on the block or whatever, make some extra cash, cutting the lawn. These things are very formative, and I never thought about it as a kid. I took it, nobody wants to do it, but doing the sucky thing you don't want to do, it really helps shape character, right? Reminds me of the Holes movie. Thinking Holes builds character. Well, that was a different motive. When you're shoveling snow, you're not necessarily looking for treasure or having kids do it for you, but using kids to find your treasure. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at is making this decision. I also thought about what to call this year, these 365 days. And I thought a good name for it would be, the Crucible. Because when I was explaining the situation to a friend, I used that word, the Crucible, and it felt appropriate. So 365 days, man, oh man. I gotta figure out how I'm going to repurpose some of this content, get the word out, but I'm grateful to have you along the ride. If you resonate, please share, like, subscribe. And it might not be the end of day 2 yet. There's still some daylight left, but I'll let you know.